Welcome to DarkHorse Matters, the show about people, their passion, and pursuit toward happiness. I'm your host, Bev Matayoshi, and I'm passionate about people. People who are going after it, people who know what they want, people who have the drive, and people who have a dream. Those are the kind of people that I want to talk to on this show. And that way, if you're out there listening and you don't really have something to strive for, but you know you want to, at least maybe you'll be inspired by someone you see on the show. So that's what this show is about. The people who I have invited today are super fired up, and they have every reason to be. And that's the kind of people I have on this show, people who are just really, really passionate about going after their dreams. And this couple here, they're a dynamic duo. They are a power couple, and they just really refuel each other's fire. And it's so exciting to see and so exciting to watch. And I had the privilege of being on their team, or experiencing what it's like to be on their team, in Synergies, which is a financial firm, a very big financial firm in California. And I just had such a privilege to see them shoot to the top in a really short period of time. Like, it makes my blood boil just talking about it. But just please give a warm welcome to Tanya and Anthony Camacho.
Hey, hello,
Thank
hello.
you
How
so
are you?
much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us, Bev. We are super excited, and you got great energy as well, and this big, beautiful, bright smile. And me and Tanya are like, we got to get to know this girl more because she's just amazing.
Thank you so much. The way I met you guys was through the financial services. That's, the team that we're on. And we're all on the same team here, but we all have different goals and why we're doing this. And I just the circle that we met in was Elite Circle, which is a training group that the company has to really just push people out of their comfort zones and really get people comfortable with learning the business in a really short period of time, which I just find just exciting. And it's so incredible that the company has something like this to really fire people up, because when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you need that little kick to really get to the next level. But it was really exciting to see you guys in a group like this, because I've been in Elite Circle before, and the energy was definitely different the last time. It was a up, like, 100 points this time. You guys
Wow.
really sizzled the fire. It was
Uh-oh.
awesome to see. So before we get into your huge win that you guys just achieved, we're going to talk about that. I just want to, get a background on where you guys are from. Can you tell us, where both of you, each of you, are from, where you grew up? A little bit about
Ladies
your family
first.
too.
Ladies
Yeah,
first.
sure. Well, I'm kind of hybrid. So I born in the UK, spent a little bit of time in the Middle East. My dad was in the British Special Forces. So if you're wondering where the fire comes from and that kind of killer take no prisoners attitude, I get that from my dad. And then we moved to Australia. And so I lived in Australia until 4 years ago, where I now live in Southern California with Anthony and 4 girls.
Oh, you guys have 4 kids.
Between us, yeah, we do. We
That's
never have enough
awesome.
chocolate. Never have enough chocolate.
So what about you, Anthony?
I think Tanya left a lot of other cool stuff out. Like, she was a former investigative journalist. She was a cover story journalist and the top 10 journalists in Australia. I mean, like, you got to share that stuff.
Well, she asked where we're from, dude. Not what we were doing.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm from Southern California, born and raised, U.S. citizen.
But yeah, I mean, I'm
That's my story.
my dad chased bad guys with a gun, and I chased bad guys with a pen. I'm a former investigative news journalist. I'm an award-winning news reporter. My specialty was pedophile priests. I've sent a few to jail. I took some video in undercover for Lead Story for 60 Minutes, Australia, 2 weeks in a row. My other specialty was terrorists. So I used to expose terrorist training camps. I went undercover to bust heroin gangs. So if you're wondering why the intensity in the
That's incredible.
was it?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
No wonder you're such a badass. Oh my God.
So I kind of have this quiet intensity because I'm observing and watching, and then Anthony's like a multi-published best-selling author, international speaker, work with Fortune 100 companies, and his nickname is the Hitman, but Hitman not from where he grew up, right? Because he grew up in Pico Rivera. So for those of you in California, those of you who don't know about that, it's a very gang orientated sort of, lower socioeconomic, a lot of struggling families in that area. And he escaped that gang life. He had some pretty hairy situations when he was younger. Some of his friends went to jail. Some of his friends didn't make it. And he came out and he was able to turn that upbringing around. And now he's known as the Hitman. Well, not that he was ever known as a Hitman when he was a teen, but his nickname, the Hitman, is because he's turned millions of dollars from cold into sold. So he is a total badass at going and cold calling, knocking on doors, isn't afraid of rejection. So you kind of put that with, the relentless pursuit for the story, never taking no for the answer. And, I think we make a pretty good team.
Yes, I love the way you guys, introduced each other and talked about each other. That was awesome. But yeah, the two of you together are definitely unstoppable. I can see that dynamic now and why. Anthony, just a little bit more about your background. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have an older brother, and then I have 2 younger brothers and 3 younger sisters.
Wow, so you came from a pretty big family. What about you, Tanya? Siblings?
Yeah, one older sister. I have mum, dad, and my sister in Australia, and the rest of my family is all in England.
Okay. So can I ask you, how did you guys meet? Like what point in your lives did this, union happen?
Let me tell
you. Should give them the PG story.
Of course I will.
You may have some kids watching this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or some very light-hearted people.
So I used to run my own live events in Australia, media and publicity training. So I used to teach entrepreneurs how to get on TV, magazines, newspapers. And my events were sold out at capacity. So I needed to go online. And I went online probably about 6 years ago. And when I went online, I actually made the top 10 in a global marketing competition and was invited to share the stage with New York Times bestseller Jeff Walker. And I was blessed to share his stage a few times. And what happens is when you get that kind of exposure, there's a ripple effect. And so I was seen by other event organizers in the audience who asked me to speak at an invitation-only event. Well, when you're a speaker, ladies, or maybe gentlemen, you get a bird's eye view of the audience. And being a lady who likes pretty things, I happened to notice something rather pretty in the audience. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go and have a chat to him a little bit later and see where he's at. So and he was very popular with the ladies, right? So I'm maybe a little bit of a strategist. So I waited for him to be separated from the herd. Out on his own like a vulnerable Giselle. And then I just strutted right up to him and I offered him a potato chip because that's my weakness. And I said, hey, would you like a potato chip? And he said to me, Bev, no, thanks. I'm not doing carbs today. And I thought to myself, he must be from LA. Right? and I had this kind of dual conversation going on in my head because in Australia, real men eat carbs. And so I was struggling with this. Do I keep talking to him? But he's so pretty, but he doesn't eat carbs. But Tanya, he's so pretty. So I thought I'll give him another chance. So I said, okay, all right, more potato chips for me. What book are you reading right now? And he was reading Napoleon Hill, How to Outwit the Devil. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So we kind of got chatting.
Write that one down.
Yeah, great book. And we got chatting and we met up at a margarita mixer that night and we just had a drink. And then he said, oh, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'm going to be back on Sunday. And I thought to myself, I'm a speaker on Sunday. I'll let that be a surprise. I didn't tell him. And and he was trying to get my attention the whole time and I was just ignoring him. And then they played the music to bring me up on stage, which is The Land from Down Under. And then he's like, he grabbed the microphone to ask me a question because I take live questions from the audience to get my attention. And I'm thinking, that son of a
ignoring me. So I had to get her attention. I already
knew I was going to ask him out later. So I didn't want to mix, business with flirting. So it was a done deal for me. So I was just like, you could just wait. I'm working here.
That is such a great story. Oh my gosh. I'm just picturing the movie in my head. That's awesome. So that is so cool. And Anthony, you are a bodybuilder. I love watching your pictures on Instagram. It's
Still
definitely
doesn't eat carbs.
inspiring.
Yeah. Still doesn't eat carbs.
Unless I'm in
So
a bulk season, then I eat carbs.
so you do that. You just won a competition recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the Sin City Showdown in Las Vegas, and I came in first place, which qualified me for nationals in my age group, which was 35 to 40. So I'm 40, 41 now.
And you came third at the nationals
Yeah, and
for his
then
age group.
yeah, and then I went to nationals just this past December 11th, where I hit a personal best hitting 3.9% body fat. And I competed against all the first place winners from all across the country, and I came in third. So
That's incredible.
I wasn't happy. I came in third. I was happy just to be there, nonetheless, and to feel healthy. That was the main thing. But I thought I did, okay, considering going up all the first place guys from the country, 35.
Yes, that's a huge accomplishment. Oh my God, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll have to go and check your IG and just make sure I see those latest pictures, because I think I saw the one when you won. That was like the last photos that I saw. But congratulations. That's so cool. What an accomplishment.
Yeah, just go to Anthony Camacho _Hitman Bev and you'll see everything you want.
Awesome. Now, I want to talk about how you guys got introduced into the financial world, because I mean, you guys are successful business people already. And, this business is brought to the people in such different ways. I mean, the way it was brought to me was during quarantine, and an old friend called me. That's how I got introduced to the business. And a lot of people get introduced to the business that way. But how did the business come to you guys?
Well, I've known Dan for many, many years. And actually, it was Dan that gave me a call.
The leader of Synergy Financial.
Daniel Charlier, the leader of Synergy Financial, on account of one of his agents attended one of my multi-day seminars. So I do sales and management training. And so one of his agents attended my seminar, and I had no idea about this industry. And apparently I was in a chicken list. So Daniel Charlier called me up, to say hello on the chicken list. And you know how brilliant and amazing he is. I just became friends instantaneously. And then we just created a relationship, and I was hanging out with them. I like smoking cigars. He likes smoking cigars, hanging out at his club at the Grand Havana Room. And so 6 years later, waited way too long to get into this business. Just visiting Dan like usual. And then he just said, "Hey, Camacho, what are you up to?" I kind of shared. I said, "I'm just hustling, man. I'm grinding all the time, hustling, but I enjoy it." He's all, "Why don't you hustle here?" And I'm thinking like, I don't know, So in my mind, I was like, I'm going to go talk to my wife about it and see what she thinks. And so I shared it with Tanya, and she goes, "Well, of course, Dan's making all kinds of money, and he lives in this beautiful big home, and he has this lavish lifestyle. Of course, he's he owns it." And then I go, "Dan doesn't own it." And she goes, "What?" I said, "No, Dan doesn't own it." She goes, "You're telling me that you have the opportunity to make the amount of money that Dan does, if not more?" And I said, "I think so." She goes,
"And I've been with you for 3 years and you haven't been doing it this whole time."
So she's like, "What the hell are you waiting for?" So I called up Dan. I said, "Well, I go, I think it's time for me to join in, brother." And then, automatically, Taproot, Fast Start, got Tanya in right away. And here we are.
And I was going to come in, and I think this is important. I was going to come in initially just to support Anthony. Okay. So I was just going to help him with some kind of behind the scenes admin. I'm reasonably techie, having been an online entrepreneur. So I was just going to have a very backseat view. But to do that, and to do it properly, I needed to get licensed. But because the financial services industry, it is the most lucrative industry in the world. The most billionaires are produced from the financial services than any other industry. And we're working with large amounts of money as well as small amounts of money. So you need to have some licensing. But coming from another country where it's so completely different, like even your Medicare, your Medi-Cal and Medicare here, we have versions of those in Australia with the same name, but they're completely different. Mm-hmm. So I didn't just want to pass my test. I wanted to have a really deep understanding of the content. So I put my investigative journalist hat on and I started digging and I started doing my own research. And the more I found, the angrier I got. And I was running programs at the time. I had, high-end mastermind. I had private clients. And I said to Anthony, when people come to me and I'm helping them sell from stage or I'm helping them share their story from TV, it's a very sad story, typically. And the sadder it is, unfortunately, the better it is for, to get those bookings. And I said to him, what if I was able to get in earlier? What if I was able to rewrite some of that sad story? And instead of getting them afterwards when it's too late, how about just coming in and having that impact and helping them avoid that? And so I then became to have much more of involvement. And as soon as I was licensed, I then immediately started working on becoming a licensed certified field trainer as well. And then didn't renew those other aspects of my business, just let those contracts run out. And I've been helping families since August of last year when we got back from Mexico.
Yeah, and Noelle Fuelo of the Ohana team, she's the one that's been kind of coaching us.
My personal mentor.
Helping Tanya. She actually helped Tanya become a field trainer. So
I love Noelle, man. Yeah, that girl's a firecracker.
I saw her interview.
I call her the boss beast lady. Yeah,
we would call her
she's a boss. She's a beast.
We would call her a pocket rocket in Australia because she's tiny, but man, she goes like fire. She just And I actually saw her interview Dan. And when I met with Dan after I got my license, he said, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I want to get trained. I want to do this. And he said, oh, okay. Well, have you made the decision on that? I said, yeah, I know exactly who it is I want to train me. And I picked Noelle. And I picked Noelle because I saw Noelle interview Dan and I loved her interview style. She came from a very similar background to me. She was an expert in public relations. And you're always looking for someone who, I think having that relatability and empathy, but this might sound egoic and I don't mean it that way, but because of my achievements in journalism and public relations, rarely do I find someone who's actually done more than I have. She crushes me. Man, I was doing $1 million deals. She did $1 billion deals. So I'm like, anyone understands sometimes branding issues when you're moving or pivoting from another business is going to be Noelle. Noelle's going to have all the answers to all the objections that some of my audience are going to have. So I am going to just soak in everything that I can. And it's been such a blessing. We're just so, so, so grateful.
Yeah, she's become like her and her husband, Tate, they become like family. So.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you guys get trained by someone like her. And it just made a perfect match.
She's intense too, man.
Yeah,
she's intense. So it's like, I think that's a great thing about this company is that there's the matchup system. Mm-hmm. We have so many talented people from all different backgrounds and ethnicities and career, backgrounds that we really can
because not everyone
work together, use our huge team to connect with other people to make them part of this mission. And the mission that Tanya and I have, we want to help 1 million families, protect them from financial, tragedy, and also get 1 million business partners as well.
Yeah, that's a great goal. And you guys are well on your way to get there. So I want to bring up the event we just had, which was just a huge, huge event. It was the company's first Wealth Bowl of the year. And at that bowl, they announced the winner to Elite Circle, which is the training group that we were in, which was just, I was rooting for you guys the whole time. So let me backtrack a little bit. I was introduced, the reason why I know Tanya and Anthony is because in this group, we were part of homework that we had to do was we were forced to be in a group with other people in the whole training group. And we're all strangers, we all don't know each other, but we 12 of us got put together. And when I heard that Anthony and Tanya on my team, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna win. You know, like that was like my initial. So immediately I was just like reaching out to everybody else on that list. And I was like, everybody needs to come to this Zoom meeting and everyone's going to be there with their camera on. Like that was how I wanted to contribute to make sure everyone showed up, because I knew that as soon as you stepped into that Zoom room, you were going to bring the intensity and everyone's going to be like, okay, you're on our game, you know? So it was really, really cool. Like, experiencing being in a team, because the team I was on in the previous elite circle, which was amazing too. I met some incredible people who have become really, really close friends of mine, you know, but the intensity was so different, you know, and just, you know, it was really, really cool to experience that, because it made me really see the power of this business. And I really thank you guys for that. Like you guys really, really made me see how capable everyone is at doing this business. It's so everybody can do it.
And I want to thank you for your support, because, you know,
there was a lot of people that didn't want to support us.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, when we were in that team, I would say to you, hey, Bev, they've heard enough from me. Can you go be my wing woman? Can you go and tell them, remind them about this? Can you get them to this? So, you know, the synergy, right? We really did work together to try to rally the crusade and get everyone on the same path. So I really appreciate all the work that you did to get them to turn up, to get them to do the video, and then to go and, you know, like that. I was kind of like the bad mom that everyone was switching off from sometimes. So I'm like, Bev, they've turned off to me now. Can you go and say something?
Yeah. Be like, hi.
Sick of Tanya, here I am.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Very, very great experience. But so throughout the whole, it was a 3-month training program. So from beginning to end, like Tanya and Anthony was just at the front leading everybody. And you know, you got before we got on the call, you were kind of saying that, you know, usually you just kind of sit at the top 5 and wait, you know, but this time you guys were leading the pack from beginning to end.
It was not intentional.
Here's the thing though, that's the secret sauce of Elite Circle. What they try to tell you, you got to be ahead in the beginning, because then you'll have a bigger chance, because at the end it gets super intense and, you know, you see where the real competitors are. And, you know, I mean, if you're leading from the beginning, that you definitely have a leg up, because you never know, it can just take a turn last minute. And you guys kept it.
It was like a dog fight.
It was crazy. I mean, I think, you know, how many agents participated in this competition?
345 or something. 340.
Easily 340 agents, and there was only one MVP winner. You know, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, the thing is with competition, you know, we compete against ourselves, right? So if I focus on what the other person's doing, then I might rest and relax, because I'm judging myself based upon that person's ceiling, based upon that person's capabilities. Where if I've done this my whole life, if I compete just against me, just by default, not trying to, just by default, I'll pass people up. And I believe Tanya's the same way. And I think that's why we work really well, is because we have a high standard that we want to do the best, and we just focus on us doing our best. And if it happens to be a number one MVP spot in Elite Circle, then that's wonderful. That's great.
340 competitors and 1 MVP. Did you guys hear that, everybody? That's like the craziest reality TV show, if this was one. You know,
I think if it helps your viewers, your listeners, Bev, you know, it was close, right? So there was a larger gap, and then it would get close. And, you know, everybody in there, I'm sure, experienced this. You know, people were going to do things, they didn't do them. Clients, apps didn't, you know, illustrations and things didn't go through when they were supposed to. So I would just, in those moments where it kind of felt like, oh, you know, can we hold it? I want to hold it. I would consciously stop, and I would just take a moment, and if I had to, I would close my eyes, and I would visualize, and I would hear the crowd applause as we went up to get that sword. And I would do that 3 to 5 times a week at least, feel winning. And then as soon as I'd stop during the middle of the day, I would feel myself winning. And then boom, I would go again. I'd open my eyes, and I was all fired up to go again, because I could feel that we were going to win. But we didn't, we weren't.
It
telling people that.
wasn't smooth though. I mean, obviously, like Tanya was saying, we had people. I mean, I can't tell you, people canceling appointments, and that's just normal, right? It's the nature of the beast. So it's not like it's something like a
People
surprise.
get sick, stuff comes up.
But what made it challenging was that there was the deadline of homework and the challenge of every 2 weeks. So it's kind of like we had to really think outside the box. You had to really create urgency with people without being pushy.
Right.
Get them to move from point A to point B to point C, and it's kind of like that's what really made it super intense. Was we weren't working on our time frame, we were working on the elite circle time frame, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool because obviously we got results.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great experience.
But you know what though, like even though the intensity and the time frame was shortened, the fact that, I mean, you look at it, no matter what, you helped people,
Exactly.
like it's not like you're selling them something they don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys really got out there and your intensity helped a lot of people in a really short period of time. And that's important. A lot of people don't, they don't take the time to learn about these things. And that's why I think people in this business, we really have to be crusaders, because people don't take time and then look what happens. Their family suffers, and we help in that. And I feel so proud to be on this team because of that, So,
Yeah, one other thing I really want to mention is that during the EC time, we were able to convert so many existing policies from other companies because we are a non-captive company and we have access to over 200 insurance companies and the best companies. So it was amazing that we were able to convert over and really give our clients something that's custom and tailored to them.
exactly.
The other thing too, and there, I'm so glad you raised the point, Bev, that we're still helping families, because in amongst the competition chaos, and I personally love the 2-week deadline because I think that's just the right amount of time, right? Not a day for any kind of procrastination. But during those 2 weeks, there was one family in particular, a Latin man, a friend of Anthony's, that he got us in front of, and we were working with him to get him some coverage. And when we first started sitting down with him, having a look at his finances and what was in place and what wasn't in place, he was very kind of reticent, was very reluctant to share, very private, very proud. And we went through this, and it took us it probably took us about 4 to 5 weeks of that 3-month period for just this one family. But when we brought back what we had prepared for him and shared it with him, he actually had to choke back tears. Like and then I wasn't really ready for it, because he was this burly, proud Latin macho man who was very kind of distant and aloof. And now he was unable to speak, and he was like, he had tears in his eyes and he was all choked up, thanking me, trying to tell me how he could never explain how much it meant to him that we had helped his family so much. And I had a couple of those. His was very standout. I had a couple of those during that 3-month sprint that really drove it home, just what we were doing. And in all my time as an entrepreneur, and I've been like Anthony, I've been an entrepreneur for 19 years, self-employed for 19 years. I could count on 2 hands in all that time, the number of times someone's come up to me and said that I've changed their life or helped them, make more money. I need more than 2 hands, just in this business, having done it from August last year, of the impact that we've made. And that's one of the things that I love about it, is that you're getting in at you call it boots on the ground. We call it at the coalface in Australia. Like you're in there really where it happens, making a big difference instantly.
What did you call it?
Coalface. We call it at the coalface.
What's a coal face?
Like a coal mine. You're chipping away.
Oh.
You're down in the mine.
All right, I was just clarifying. I'm her interpreter sometimes.
Yeah, he is.
Sometimes, coal what? Coal who? Coal face.
I know, at the coalface.
Coal
Getting dirty in the thick of it, like working hard, where all real people are, not sitting up at the top of the office, looking at the stock exchange of what the coal prices are.
You're like on the front lines here. And
front line, that's it. That's what I got to say here in America, at the front lines.
That's exactly what we do. And, I just want to talk a little bit more about the way you guys work together, your synergistic relationship. Can you kind of just explain in detail, like just kind of illustrate how what your strengths are, Anthony, and what your strengths and how you guys work together. To why you guys make such a powerful team.
Well, there's quite a few things, but yeah, I'd have to agree. We're a good team and we utilize each one of our strengths and talents to tackle this business. I'm not as detailed orientated as Tanya, but I am an aggressive, tenacious mover. I charge ahead. I don't waste time with hesitation. If something needs to be done, I go out and I do it. So I'll attack with an axe. And Tanya is more a person that will attack with a scalpel precision. We'll still get the job done, but hers looks a lot pretty when it's done. But there's times where she'd be a little bit more analytical, and I'm like, we don't have time for that. We got to go. Now. We got to do it. We got to do it. Whatever it may be. It's more like I course correct as I go, and Tanya is strategically calculating how she's going to do it. I'm like, I'm pushing through doors, man. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. So I have no, as they call me the hitman, because a hitman doesn't make appointments. I've cold called millions of dollars for my clients, consulting clients that I've worked with in the past. So I have no qualms about talking to people, getting in front of people, speaking from stage, selling from stage. And so I'm more of the talky guy, kind of like, and my wife isn't as friendly as I am.
I love that explanation. You just really, really brought it home there. So Tanya, can you just kind of give us your point of view?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, and, I've been an online entrepreneur here in America for the last 4 years. So I don't go out a lot, right? So I don't meet a lot of people, and my warm lists are in Australia or in England. So Anthony's got a lot of contacts here. He's out meeting a lot of people. So we play that strength. So I create, the business plan. I set the agenda for the quota, and I will give him a list, and I will wind him up, and then I will let him go. And I will say, we need this. This is how many appointments we have for next week. This is how many more appointments we have. This is how we're tracking for the month. This is how we're tracking for the quarter. I need you to find this, this, and this in terms of leads. So Anthony goes out and he brings the leads in, and then I follow the process. So I'm very detail orientated. I've got an eye for detail. And so I want to go through, I'm a big believer in systems. So I go through and I make sure that system is followed. And he's much more of a people person than me. I enjoy being around people, but I'm an outgoing introvert, and Anthony's an outgoing extrovert. So, when people see me in crowds, they think I'm a little kind of aloof and antisocial, and I have this kind of intensity, but it's just because I'm better, one-on-one. So Anthony goes out and brings people in, and then I train them one-on-one. And then I guess also a strength of mine too is I recognize that I can run like a Ferrari. So one of the first questions I ask people when I'm bringing them into the business as team members is, how fast do you want to run? Because I can push people too fast. And so I need to make sure that I can adjust. And I'm very thankful, because having been self-employed for so long, I've had to learn, because at the beginning, I just wanted everyone to run like a Ferrari, and everyone was exhausted, and they were like, oh my goodness. So now it's kind of understanding not everyone wants to run like a Ferrari, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And being there to support them, and then just helping them understand systems and processes, and being a good teacher. So I think that that's something that I bring. And then, so we also play to our strengths that we've talked about, and also identifying our superpower. So both of us are speakers. So this year on the agenda, 2 speaking engagements per year minimum, getting into businesses, going into that environment, bringing in more leads, because it's all about spreading the message as far as possible. So identifying what works, what doesn't work, and what is our unique superpower that's also going to differentiate us from other people in our industry as well.
Yes, yes. That is so cool. I love, you guys really make a perfect team. I got to find my partner in this business. I keep making that joke that we need to create a dating app for this.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like to also give Tanya another compliment, even though she is very intelligent and very well versed. I am a sales trainer and a sales consultant. So, I'd be doing one-on-ones with Tanya, once a week to go over the sales plan and coach her. And you would think that she would be uncoachable, but she's extremely coachable. And I'd have to say that not only is she's my best business partner, my best recruit, but she's also been my best sales student as well. Yeah. She's a badass.
Thank you.
But you guys really were the best in this competition. That's why you guys are MVP, and that's why you guys are winning. I love it. But you know what? So I want to ask you guys before we end this interview, with all this, momentum that you guys have, what is the big dream that you guys are moving toward? I want to hear like the gargantuan dream. Do you guys talk about that a lot?
Yeah.
We have a movie. So some people have vision boards. We have a vision movie.
What?
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of I can get it for you, Bev, and you can share it with your viewers because it's very easy to put together. Mine's something I can't remember, but yeah, so there's there's music and there's different
visuals.
Images. So we have short-term, medium-term, long-term, and so the big goal is our beach house. We haven't really decided where yet, like in terms of how far Northern California, or we want to go to Malibu, because we're just kind of thinking about proximity to airports and things like that. I also would love to live in Mexico, so I'm waiting for Synergy Financial to expand into Mexico, because then that's a done deal. So a beach house, within the next 6 months, and additional 6 figures. We want to bring in 6 figures in revenue from this business. And we want to do 8 million is a good number within the next 3 years, and then we'll see where we can take it after that. But that's the goal.
Well, I mean, it's bigger than that too. I mean, like we've always talked about being speakers and traveling the world. So we both love to travel and we love new experiences. And in fact, we like experiences better than tangible fancy things. I mean, we like fancy things too, don't get me wrong, but if I had to make a choice, if I wanted to be able to travel to different parts of the world and have that experience, because when you die, you take the experience. I'm not taking any of this stuff. Nothing,
right.
But I'm going to take the memories and the wonderful travel I had with my best friend. And that's the thing. So we want to travel the world. As soon as the kids are old enough, we're going to travel the world, somehow grow this business all over the world. And hopefully it'll expand like that.
More countries.
So the company will be ready for us.
Yes. And your guys are a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure.
We just like to have fun. We just like to have fun. We don't talk a lot of crap. We don't showboat. We don't say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you better watch out. Like, nah, man, you just watch. Just watch.
Yeah, just watch.
Just watch the board. We don't say nothing, because we want to take care of our family. We want to take care of our clients. And most importantly, we're competing against ourselves. The one in the mirror is the one who you're competing against. That's
the biggest takeaway here, for sure. Compete with yourself. I'm going to take that one to the end, because that's the truth. When you have that pursuit, that goal isn't your happiness. Your happiness is what you're doing in that moment, and I just love that. You guys have such great energy. Thank you so much for doing this with me, and I just love sharing you guys with my audience, and it's just going to be such a great gift to share your guys' mission. And it's my mission too. We all have share the same mission, and it's just to we can go after our dreams. I'm so proud about this while helping so many people in the process. I just love that. And everybody can do it too. It's not just for this person or that person. Everybody is capable. And you guys really, really showed me, wow, I really got to see it firsthand. And that is such a gift. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you, Bev. Of course, the leaderboard we want to get on, Bev, is the income leaderboard.
The cash flow leaderboard. That's the next eye on the prize, baby.
Yeah, it'll come.
That's the one that counts. That's the one we're looking for.
Yep. Yeah. And there's more people in California, in the state of California, than there are in the entire country of Australia. So there are
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like Australia has maybe under 30 million people.
California has more people than the entire country.
I think California has like maybe 35 to 40 million.
Yeah. more people.
Wow.
So
In the ballpark.
opportunities are everywhere.
It sure is. It sure is. So thank you so much. You know, you guys just hit the ground running, and I will definitely look forward to just seeing you guys in person at some point, you know, and really just,
Yes.
yeah, just, you know, having this association with you guys is just amazing. And I just, I've such a pleasure to have met you guys and have been able to experience you guys in action.
Feeling is mutual, my
Yeah,
friend.
it
The
really
feeling
is.
is mutual.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on DarkHorse Matters, the show about people, their passion, and pursuit toward happiness. If you like this episode, hit the like button and the subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified every time we have a new story so you can be inspired too. So until next time, you guys, be passionate.